Hey everybody, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Do me a favor before we get started, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. So we're going to talking about Section 8 today and what is going down with Section 8. But before I get started, we're going to describe what exactly is Section 8 and what kind of people are we talking about. So I'm sure you know about Section 8. And Section 8 is essentially single mothers. Lo and behold, single mothers out here trying to survive, doing it all, carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. Single mothers. That is your Section 8 population. All right, so we're going to talk about DOGE and their plan for Section 8. So you got your own plans. We're going to let you know what DOGE's plans are for Section 8. All right. So, HUD, let me tell you about HUD. HUD has a $52 billion annual budget. That's with a B. So, 30 billion of that goes to the voucher program. So, when it comes to Section 8, there's a long waiting period to get into a house. So guess how long that waiting period is? So it's around 28 months. So there are people out here waiting to get into a house, right? Because there's this long list of people waiting to get into a house. Then 28 months later, you finally get into a house. Okay, so this is the plan. The plan is, we are wasting too much money out here. So we're going to figure out how to cut waste. And let's go to Section 8. See how much money they're wasting over there. All right. So the proposed plan is to cut $260 million from the HUD budget. Also, 50% of the workforce within HUD could be cut. So if this goes into effect, cutting all of this waste, all this money that these people are wasting, the results could be longer waiting periods to get into a house. Why? Because there's nobody there processing applications because they're all fired, right? So longer waiting periods. All right. So when it comes to being a real estate investor, I have a lot of real estate investors that watch this channel. You can see why it's important to diversify and not to put all your eggs in one basket. And there's one woman I see, she has all her eggs in one basket. All of her property are Section 8. So can you see why it's important to diversify? Even if you were to go all real estate, there's different kinds of real estate that you can get into. So this is one prime example why diversification is important. Even though Section 8 is guaranteed rent, and that's the primary reason why, if a real estate investor would choose Section 8, that would be the primary reason, guaranteed rent. All right, so we got Scott Turner. Scott Turner is the HUD secretary. So he's been placed over HUD. And as far as payments go, if you're a real estate investor, you got a Section 8 tenant. The federal government is paying this rent. That's why it's guaranteed rent. They pay a large portion of it, and then the tenant pay a small, tiny portion of it. So say, for example, the rent is $1,000. So the government is going to pay about 800. Tenant is going to pay about 200. So we got this $52 billion budget. 52 billion with a B annual budget. 30 billion with a B goes to the voucher program. That is a lot of people. 30 billion with a B goes to the voucher program. That is a lot of people. There's a lot of people in this program, and there's a lot of people waiting. So people who get into this sector as far as a real estate investor will always have a tenant because there's so many people waiting. Scott Turner is the HUD secretary. The plan is to cut $260 million from the HUD budget. Long waiting period as far as getting into a house. If these cuts go into effect, longer waiting times. If these cuts go into effect, we will see how that could possibly affect you as a real estate investor. More than likely, they're still going to be covering this rent. But would you want to put all of your eggs in that basket? What if they decide, we don't want to cover this rent anymore? This is like wasting money. We're going to end this waste. All right? So they're looking at Section 8 and they're planning to cut waste. So you can see here why diversification is very important, especially as a real estate investor if you're looking at this as a business. Wouldn't you agree? If you agree, put in the comments, agree. If you don't agree, put in the comments that you don't agree. All right? So I thought it was interesting. Did anybody watch the presidential speech? Anybody watch it? So a large amount of the ideal, there are a bunch of ideals, right? But one ideal is about cutting waste, right? You see all the people that are getting fired. But one thing that I found particularly interesting is that he said there's some programs out here that he can't mention because they're watching him. And if you don't think that's interesting, I don't know what is. There must really be some sick, evil stuff going on out here. He cannot mention them because they are watching him. What do you make of that? Or would you rather not know? Some people would rather not know, and then other people want to know. Which one are you? Put it in the comments. Would you rather not know? Put that in the comments. I'd rather not know. And if you're the kind of person that wants to know, put that in the comment. I want to know. What kind of person are you? Which one are you? I thought that was very, very, very interesting, to say the least, that he can't even mention them. It is that deep. It's that deep that He knows of them, but he can't mention them. What do you make of that? All right. So do me a favor. Before you leave, I need for you to hit this like button. That helps the channel. It helps me out. It supports me. Um, so support your fellow mankind. And how you support me? You support me by pressing that like button. I know it's like real hard to do, right? Something that takes a whole second of your time to support somebody. Hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. Feel free to leave your comments. And if you're interested in joining the real estate group, if you're interested in buying property and you would like to do this with a community of like-minded people, click on the link below, join the waitlist for the real estate group. And while you are down there, check out my hat collection. All right. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye.